ça, c'est deuxième channel, and today we are going to be talking about mermaids. So if you're watching this at night, I suggest you watch this in the morning. If you ain't got your snacks, if you ain't got your drink, your coimas, your pate, your deuce, whatever, go get it. Okay, I just ate, so I'm full. People have been requesting me to make this video ever since I started my channel due to the viral Twitter thread that has been literally continuously going viral for the past couple months. Now, the thing is with mermaids, I'm gonna have to let you guys know right now, what you've seen on Disney, what you hear in the fairy tales, what you see in modern day America, in these fucking TV shows and these movies ain't it. And that goes for everything across the board. Every Disney story, every fairy tale, everything you've heard actually has a really different past, a really different origin than what you believe, okay? I'm going to link down a channel that I watch all of the time, and basically he tells the real stories of the fairy tales, the traditions, and the myths that we have heard growing up. The name of the channel is John Solo, and he makes a series called Messed Up Origins. And I'm telling you, I can watch this man's channel all day because it really sheds light on the things that, you know, essentially we've been lied to about as children. Please keep in mind that everything in this video is coming from what I was told as a child, coming from my parents, coming from experiences and things that people have told me while I was growing up. There's not much you can really research on this without getting it verbatim from someone who is from Haiti. So depending on where you are from, I'm very sure you have heard of mermaids. So if you are not Haitian or you are Haitian, comment your Haitian stories of mermaids down below, whether it happened to you or someone else. Also, if you happen to be from a different country, let me know what they call it in your country, because there are so many different names for mermaids all around the world, okay? From, of course, the American word mermaid, there's MERMAIDS or SIREN in Creole, there's Mama in certain parts in Africa, there is water people in certain other Caribbean and Black countries. Like, there's so many names for mermaids. But the whole premise of a mermaid is basically a person or some type of human-like being that lives in the water. Usually characterized as like half human, half fish, literally with a huge fish tail. Modern day America, they are depicted as beautiful creatures, majestical creatures, blase, blase. But when you actually go deep down into the origins and you try to get stories from your elders, depending on who you speak to, it can either be a really, really evil situation or a really, really positive one. Now, when I was younger, the first time I heard about mermaids, I was probably like in middle school, and I heard it from one of my friend's moms. And I went and asked my mom if it was true, and she was like, oh yeah, very true, you know? Lots of your cousins and stuff got kidnapped by mermaids, and you know, they just brought them back. I'm like, wait, what? I've been fascinated ever since. Like, of all of the mythical creatures and stuff like that in Haiti, definitely mermaids have to be the most fascinating one, and I just love the idea of them. Like, I don't know, like, I just do that. It's just me. One of those people that believe that we are not the only intelligent beings on earth. Like, whether you believe in God, whether you don't believe in God, whatever the case may be, there is no way you believe that humans are the only intelligent species on this planet. Like, I believe in aliens, I believe in mermaids, I believe in ghouls, goblins, all that shit, okay? Tout diable yo qui existe. Well, I don't want to say job because that's kind of negative, but you get the point. Anything that's not human, I believe exists. Now, when you think of scientific terms, there's a lot of scientists who believe that mermaids are legit, and they basically come from humans evolving underwater. Now, we all know that there's so many things that happen on the earth, such as volcano eruptions, earthquakes, all types of disturbances in the earth. So a lot of scientists believe that back in the day, there was a time where like a lot of humans or prehistoric humans separated and went their own way. Some went in the water, some went higher up in the land, some went underground, you know, this, that, and the third. Therefore, that's why there can be different entities and different type of beings in the world. I feel like a lot of prehistoric people resorted to living off of the sea, living off of the water, because one, there's an endless supply of food out in the water, and two, some of them probably had no choice. Therefore, some of them ended up retreating under land. And plus, you know, we all know the whole story of Atlantis, okay, the lost city underworld, and you know, there may be some truth to it, but for whatever reason, it is secret. Now, there are some people I know who are really, really Christian bent, like who are really, really into God, are also into mythical creatures, and they usually say that God made mermaids to protect the water water, and God made humans to protect the land. Therefore, that's why they are called mermaids. They are there to protect all the sea creatures and everything else in it. Depending on who you speak to, mermaids can be depicted as really, really evil or really, really positive. So let's get into the positive, because there's not much positive to go by, because of course we love to focus on the negative as humans. A lot of people have come forward and said that mermaids have essentially saved their lives. Now, there's been lots of stories of people who couldn't swim and got sucked in by water. There's been lots of stories of people who couldn't swim and went into the water and got sucked in by waves. This has happened to me a lot of times. When one of my cousins saved me from that before in Coney Island. So yeah, I can't swim, still can't swim, don't give a fuck, don't want to learn. I'm terrified of water, okay? There's no chances I'm gonna meet a mermaid. There's been cases of people literally drowning or about to drown or being sucked in by water, and mermaids have saved them, brought them back ashore, and stayed with them until someone came to their rescue. There have also been stories of basically taking certain possessions of mermaids. Now, one of the oldest legendary tales is if you see a mermaid brushing her hair with a comb, if she tends to drop it, which is very hard, like you have to like scare the mermaid to drop it, take the comb, and if you take the comb, you will be like rich as hell. And if you comb your hair with the comb, your hair will grow really, really long. Now, there's also a tale that's very, very opposite that says if you steal anything from a mermaid, especially a comb, you will be cursed until you give that shit back. And there's also another one that goes, if you find something from a mermaid and you try to give it back to the mermaid, they will reward you for bringing back their property. So again, it all depends on who you ask. We're gonna get into the darker side of mermaids. Now, even though I did say that there's a lot of people that believe that mermaids are there to protect the water and protect all the beings in the water, there is a theory out there that the reason that mermaids can be detrimental, evil, or mean to humans is because they feel like humans are destroying the earth and in turn fucking up aquatic life, which is very true. There are waste in the water, we throw garbage in there, we're wasting all the water, so it makes perfect sense why mermaids wouldn't really fucking fuck with humans, okay? Goes that in Haiti, you should never ever go towards a woman in water, okay? So if you just chilling on the beach, you walking on the beach and you see a lady just sitting there, combing her hair with a little fin, sometimes not a fin, because sometimes they look like normal people, okay? Just chilling, don't go. Don't go to her, stay away from her. I'm telling you right now. Whether it is negative or positive, no matter what you think about mermaids, just don't go, because you don't know what's gonna happen to you. Because realistically speaking, mermaids are known to legit kidnap people. Yes, catch you, take you in the water, and keep you there forever or until they want to give you back. And yet, that's if they want to take you back. Now again, depending on who you ask, this can be a really, really positive or very, very negative experience. I've heard of stories of people getting kidnapped from mermaids and they treat them very, very well. I've heard of stories of people being turned into mermaids and they have to retreat back into the water if they ever come back on land, whether to see old family or whatever the case may be. I've also seen stories of people just being held captive to run chores for the mermaids, do things, or be held as sex slaves and be abused until somehow they are able to escape. There's been numerous stories of kids, men, women, all types of people being kidnapped or just vanished or just mysteriously vanishing from large bodies of water where mermaids are thought of to inhabit. Now, when it comes to the whole mermaid situation, you need to be very, very careful. It is said that if a mermaid does come in contact with you and they ask you to do something for them, you are to do the opposite. This is what my parents told me. If you do come into contact with a mermaid, you are to do the opposite. For example, if the mermaid tells you to go get some rice, you better go bring it some cornmeal, okay? Wait, is that the opposite? But you get the point. You never give them exactly what they want, because if you do, they will kidnap you, make you their slave forever. But also, I've heard the opposite, that you should always do exactly what they tell you to do, and if you don't, then you will end up being kidnapped and also made their slave. It's one of those things where I would just not want to make contact with them, okay? They're a cool phenomenon. It's cool as fuck to talk about, but I am not trying to get kidnapped. I cannot swim, okay? I cannot. I know a lot of you guys are thinking,
oh my god, but if they kidnap you, how do you breathe underwater?
They do give you something that enables you to breathe underwater while you are there. A lot of people always ask, like, what language do the mermaids speak? How do they understand you? Mermaids speak all languages. They can communicate with whoever it is that they need to communicate, all right? So if they're in Haiti, I'm pretty sure they can speak French, Creole, and maybe even English. If they're in Spain, I'm very sure they speaking that Españoles, all right? Like, I'm very, very sure that they speak all types of languages. This is why they are able to communicate with people and get them to do whatever it is that they want, or able to save them as needed. Let's not forget, there's also mermen, okay? There's lots of mermen out there who actually like to kidnap women and make them their wives. There are lots of mermaids that kidnap people to make them their husbands as well, okay? And there's a lot of mermaids who kidnap kids to make them their children, to adopt them, okay? Turn them into mermaids. This is a real thing. Also, I know a lot of you guys are probably thinking, what do they look like? Mermaids are hideous, apparently, okay? They do not look pretty. They are not like as beautiful as they make them seem in movies and fairy tales and stuff like that. They are hideous creatures and very, very huge, like really, really big. There's been so many stories of people allegedly catching mermaids. There are so many stories in Africa, particularly, of people catching mermaids, and they had to let them go because they were just that big. There's also been lots of stories of people saying that mermaids are beautiful creatures. They are the most beautiful creatures you will ever see. In the middle, I have seen numerous stories and heard numerous stories of people saying that they are both. So they can appear to you as really, really beautiful, but once they get upset and once they get angry, they turn into a vicious, ugly creature. So I'm gonna stay in the middle and just say that they probably just are able to turn from really, really pretty to really, really ugly. Numerous stories of people being kidnapped and being turned into mermaids, but there's also been really, really tragic stories of people dying or being killed by mermaids. Now, the only reason a mermaid would kill you is typically if, one, you don't do what the fuck they say, two, didn't fulfill your end of a deal, or three, you probably just came in contact with a vicious mermaid. A lot of these mermaid stories seem to always have a deal involved. Like, oh my God, I came in contact with a mermaid, I asked them for this, that, and the third, and this is what happened, blase, blase. These stories usually come with the idea that mermaids are connected to voodoo. And a lot of people, of course, like I've said before, associate voodoo with black magic, which is not the same shit. But whatever. The point I'm trying to get at is a lot of people will say, like, you know, if you see a mermaid, you can ask the mermaid for favors and they will grant it for you. However, there are things you need to do, steps you need to complete in order to get this done. With that being said, mermaids are also known to be legit liars, okay? They are known to not hold up their ends of the bargain. So if you are going to make a deal with a mermaid, you need to be extremely careful because a lot of times they don't seem to hold up their bargain. There is a story that most Haitian people know, especially about mermaids, about the blind woman. I don't really remember the complete details of this story, but bear with me, okay? Here's a quick little synopsis of what I remember. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but long story short, she had a husband, you know, her and her husband were happily married, and her husband worked in the water. He worked by the sea. And she would always, you know, sit on the beach watching her man work, you know. She just admire her man, you know. Back in the day, pas get Netflix, okay? Pas get WhatsApp, pas get Facebook. So she was sitting there watching her man work, and then a mermaid came to her like, hey, yo, you trying to, like, be out here? He's like, damn, like, wouldn't you much rather be with your man or find a way to, like, actually be with him instead of just sitting here on the beach all day? She was like, yeah, you know, that would be great. So she was like, you know, I'll make you a deal. Whatever the case may be, they made some type of crazy ass deal. Mermaid flipped on the lady, kidnapped the lady. The man saw this, tried to go in the water after his wife. So the mermaid took both of them, and basically the man begged for the wife to be released. Wife gets released, and basically the mermaid told her, sis, don't ever come back here. Don't ever step foot on this beach again. She didn't listen because clearly, you know, true love fucks everybody's life up, okay? So she comes back to the beach after the mermaid said no. She was like, hey, you know, like, I know you said not to come back here or whatever, but I really want to see my husband. Can I please see my husband? She said, all right, bet. Sees her husband, and she snatches her eyes out of her sockets, literally. Took her eyeballs out and took them with her, never to give them back, and now the lady is blind. Who is this lady? I don't know. What is her name? I don't know. Don't ask me. This is one of those stories that they just tell us, all right? Now, someone in the comment section can probably tell this story a lot better than I did, but that's basically the basis of the story. If you make a deal with a mermaid, you need to actually make the deal with the mermaid correctly and wholeheartedly, because they will flip on you, and sometimes you may do everything correct and they still might flip on you. So I would just say don't make any deals with any mermaids. Conclusion, if you are going to go near any body of water, okay, this is not even just in the black countries that I stated or foreign countries. This is in general. Don't go at night and don't go alone, because you never know what lurks in these waters. You never know what can happen to you. Whether you are seeking to see a mermaid, because I've always wanted to, like when I was younger, I used to be like, yo, I really want to see a mermaid. I really want to see a mermaid. But now that I think about it, and I'm a lot older now, I'm like, oh, child, Jesus, please don't grant that wish, because I don't think I want to see a mermaid, okay? I don't like knowing or not knowing what's gonna happen. And I would hate for any of y'all to go try seeking a mermaid. If some shit happened to y'all, don't go seeking a mermaid. There are so many ways to contact mermaids. You can summon mermaids, you can do all types of shit, but I'm telling you, don't do it, okay? They've also been known to steal children, especially if they happen to have a kid that has passed on some way, shape, or fashion. They love to kidnap human children. So if you have a child, please don't let them go near the water alone. This should be common sense in general, but especially in certain foreign countries, do not let them go alone. I actually went on Twitter and I was looking at so many stories of people claiming they were taken by mermaids when they were younger. A lot of them were positive, saying, you know, they almost drowned again and, you know, the mermaid saved them. But there was one in particular where the girl said that she was kidnapped and, you know, the mermaid basically casted some type of spell on her to make her promiscuous. Like, I'm just telling you right now, it's crazy out here. In conclusion, do I think that mermaids are evil or good? I think it's both. I believe that the whole mermaid situation is dependent on what type of mermaid you get. Just like humans, you can get really, really bad people, you can get really, really good people. I don't think that mermaids have a one cut cloth type of situation. I believe there are really good mermaids and there are really bad mermaids. So I don't believe that, oh, all mermaids are evil, like they're all voodoo, they're all this, they all take you to do this, that, and the third. I believe they're just like us and there's different types of mermaids that do different types of things. Do I believe that mermaids are always associated with black magic? I feel like sometimes, again, I feel like maybe some mermaids be out here cooking the sauce, okay? I feel like some of them be out here doing voodoo, some of them don't. Maybe some of them are Catholic, maybe they got Catholic churches down there. Maybe some of them Protestant, La Jersey, I don't know. The point is, I feel like mermaids are probably just like regular people, but they live underwater, they have fins, and some of them do hold some sort of power, just like a lot of humans are the same way. Foreign people are like, oh my god, like, if I'm going to Haiti, what am I gonna do? Like, I don't want to be kidnapped by a mermaid. And I'm just like, nigga, most of the time they will not touch you, okay? A lot of times they're not gonna touch you, but mostly they say, like, if you're really, really attractive or they find you really, really beautiful, that's when they will snatch you up. A lot of times they say that you will be protected depending on who your family is. There are lots of people who have made allies with mermaids. Yeah, that sounds crazy, but yes, allies. Like, say there's certain people that own certain types of land or types of property in Haiti, and they have established like some type of relationship, because clearly land in Haiti has water running back of it. So clearly if the MERMAIDS is passing by, you know, y'all might have a conversation. It's not really often that you see people see MERMAIDS or SIRENs or mermaids. It's not really something that happens all of the time. It's one of those things that just rarely happens because they do not like being seen. They try not to make their appearances known, and when they are known, they probably want something from you and they're probably gonna snatch your ass, so you can't talk about it, okay? Oh yeah, comment down below. I would love to know, what are your mermaid stories? What have you heard about mermaids? And if you're from a different country, what is your understanding and your country's understanding of what mermaids are? Let me know what you think about this video down in the comment section below. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, do all that, and I'll see y'all next time.